Welcome back to another Project Rebirth review. Today we're going to take a look at another Batman Missions figure. This one is the companion to Mr. Freeze. It's the Arctic Armor Batman. Here's a look at the front of the box. And here's a look at the back of the box. The mission's entitled Sub-Zero Hero, and it depicts a battle between Mr. Freeze and Batman in the streets of Gotham City. Many of the buildings and an automobile are covered in snow, and Mr. Freeze is shooting a blast from his freeze gun at Batman, and Batman's countering with a blast of his own. And actually, if this were accurate to the product, Batman's blast should be red as some kind of heat blast, but it's depicted as if he's shooting ice at Mr. Freeze as well. But anyway, here's a look at the back of the box. All right, let's get Arctic Armor Batman out of the box. Here's the figure out of the box along with its accessory. The accessory is essentially a heat gun or blaster. There's no official description, but just from seeing from product pictures, I know how this goes. There's pegs here, holes here. You can snap it together, and it can be held together as kind of a double barrel gun, or he can hold it in his individual hands as two separate weapons. And here's a peg here, and that's where the figure would put it in his hand. And the heat blast, and actually I wish this was more of a molten red than orange, but that just sticks in the end of the gun, and it doesn't shoot out. This is not a real projectile. This is just for kids' imagination, or for just to sit on a shelf. But that sticks in there, and that would be the blast that shoots towards Mr. Freeze. Alright, I did want to show you something that's very difficult to get the figure's hands both in the two-handed position and have the gun, here it is off-centered. If you try to move it, it separates. And then it has a tendency in all positions to kind of rise up like this and not want to lay flat. So, that's a minor complaint, but it could become frustrating for a child. Let's take a 360 look at Arctic Armor Batman.
Show me all your innocence. I'm holding up for one last time. We seem so much better than I just left for far too long. I couldn't hold you close. I couldn't let you go. Was hot as hell back home, but when you go, it's frozen down to 40 below.
Let's review articulation. The figure's head can look down slightly, back to neutral. Rotate all the way around 360. Arms can extend to less than 90 degrees, limited by the shoulder armor. Bend to less than 90 degrees. And at the wrist, it can bend in significantly, almost to a right angle. And then outward slightly. And that's the extra bend on this, I think, is really needed to hold the weapon when it is locked together in place. Figure can rotate at the waist all the way around. There's no ab crunch. Extend at the legs to approximately 90 degrees. a little bit less, and bend at the knee to approximately 90 degrees. And as with all Batman Missions figures, the foot and the boot is one single piece with no foot articulation. Let's compare Arctic Armor Batman with some other Batman Missions figures. Here's the Arctic Armor Batman along with some other Batman Missions figures. On the far left, the Prison Breakout Batman. Next to him, the regular Batman figure that launched the whole series. Next to him, the Night Jumper Batman. Of course, in the center, our figure we're reviewing today. Next to him, the Stealth Glider Batman. And on the far right, the Electro Power Batman. Here's Arctic Armor Batman with Mr. Freeze. With the Batman Missions Joker and Harley Quinn. With the Batman Missions Two-Face and the Riddler. Here he is with the Batman Missions Bane on the left and the Prison Breakout Bane on the right. With the Batman Missions Nightwing and Batgirl. Alright, so here's my final thoughts with regard to Batman Missions Arctic Armor Batman. This was a review that almost didn't happen. When I first saw the promotional pictures from Mattel for this product, and I'll show them here now. When I first saw those promotional pictures, I thought this figure was goofy looking and one I would just take a pass on. And the more I thought about it, I really could just see a glimmer of potential. And when I placed the order, my kids tried to discourage me, like, Dad, don't buy this one. This is dumb looking. But you know what? When it arrived, we were all kind of shocked because it looks so much cooler in person. So definitely give it a chance, or hopefully you get the chance to see it in a store in person and make that decision for yourself. But I hope you watch this video to the end and watch all the product shots, but I think it actually photographs quite well. I'm collecting this Batman Missions line. In fact, there's only one that I'm not going to pick up. I'll show that image here. And I'm greatly looking forward to whatever Missions figures still come out. Hopefully we get Scarecrow and some other cool figures. So this one, I'm glad to have the companion to do battle with Mr. Freeze, but I do understand his looks could be polarizing. So I can't say whether or not you should buy it, but am I glad I bought it? Absolutely, hell yes. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Project Rebirth review.
Show me all your innocence. I'm holding up for one last time. We seem so much better than I just left for far too long. I couldn't hold you close. I couldn't let you go. Was hard as hell back home, but when you go, it's frozen down to 40 below. Better than I just left for far too long.